Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. I am Juncal Salada Codina from Barcelona and I am clarinetist in Orchestre Symphonique de Mulhouse in France. I would like to thank my colleague Michael Faustino for inviting me to join this project in music by doing this video on warming up on clarinet. Let's get started. In this video, I will give you some advice and recommendation of what is important and useful for me, as well as some exercises. Some of them can be a bit strange, but just to give you some ideas of how I warm up. Because I think the warming up has to be something that you have to ideate and create yourself. Regarding your difficulties, weaknesses, and observing your body and your playing, you will be aware of which aspects do you need to work on more at the beginning of the practice in the morning. For example, I know that I am not at all a morning person, so I feel it's very important for me to do some body warming up before taking the instrument. This means I need to stretch and to do some breathing exercises before taking the instrument. I started some time ago practicing yoga, and I think it's the perfect practice for me because it combines physical activity, a stretch, and breathing exercises. So it's perfect. I try to do it every day, like the more it's the better, but if you don't have a lot of time, 10 or 15 minutes would be fine, just to warm up the muscles and get prepared before taking the instrument. I often feel a bit oppressed when I get up in the morning and the chest is closed, so I need opening. I can give you some breathing exercises which I think are important for all wind instruments. For example, the first one can be you lie down on the floor. I have to say it's important to lie on the floor or sit down in a chair or in the floor, otherwise you can feel a bit sick while doing breathing exercise. So that's important. So one exercise can be laying down on the floor and breathing with your abdomen first, then with your chest, and when you control this, you can send air to the ribs in order to open them and flexibilize every zone. This gives you a control of the placement of the breathing. Another exercise, it can be useful for expanding the lungs in the morning. We don't have to forget that the lungs are flexible, and so in order to increase our capacity, it's important to flexibilize them. So this exercise consists in inspiring step by step. For example, you can inspire in 3 times at the beginning. You can increase the times that you are using to use more breathing capacity. So you can do it 3 times, then 4 times, then 5 times, and so you will little by little increase your capacity and flexibilize your lungs. You can also use this machine. I don't know how it is called. The idea of this machine is to wake up the diaphragm by keeping the ball in the top. There is a ball there, so you have to keep it in the top. You put your fingers covering 2 of the 3 holes when you are blowing, and you take them out while inspiring, like this. Etc. Be careful of don't getting hyperventilated, you can feel sick also. Afterwards, when I take my clarinet, I would suggest you to start with a light reed in order not to force and to find an easy in the emission. I also used to start with the A clarinet because I think we play it less than the B flat, and also because when then I take the B flat, it's just so easy and so small. I will not give you my warming up routine because I don't have one. It depends on the day, of how I am feeling, what aspects I need more, and but I will give you some ideas. For example, for my way of playing, I know that in the beginning of the day it's important to find an opening in the embouchure. So I do this exercise, which can be kind of strange, but it's very useful for me. You need to enroll your lips, both upper and down. It's like if you play the oboe. The idea is not to do any strange, otherwise it will hurt in the upper lip. The intonation must be low to be sure you are doing the exercise well. The intonation is low because you are relaxing and opening very much. Too much, actually. I do it while practicing scales, for example. It's just an embouchure exercise, so you can play whatever you want while doing this exercise. It sounds ugly, but when you do it for 4 or 5 minutes, then your feeling it's very, very good. With instruments, as singers, we need also throat opening. This other exercise consists in singing and playing in the same time in order to enable vibration in the throat and relax as well. When you finish doing this and you play normal, you really feel the difference. So I said you can do these embouchure exercises while doing the scales. I normally play scales on the Taffanel's method for flute, but I also like Bela Kovac's daily scale studies, which can be sometimes very repetitive, but it's good. For the sound and the air, you can also do some long tones, making crescendo and decrescendo in the same length. You can put, for example, the metronome and count, for example, 10 beats crescendo, 10 beats decrescendo. This gives you the control of the embouchure after doing these opening exercises that we did before. For the technique of the right and the left hand separately, I highly recommend this book. It's the Vademecum du clarinettiste, Vademecum of the clarinetist, by Paul Jean-Jean. And it gives you some exercises of all the key combinations, both in right and left hand, as well as other studies of scales, staccato and trills, for example, also. So it's very good. I take always this with me. It's not to do it every day, but very often. For the staccato, I would recommend you to start it when your sound is already in place. The staccato at the beginning must be very long and very relaxed. Don't try to play short and speedy staccato in the beginning, otherwise you will tend and stress the tongue, and so for the long of the day you will be kind of tense. So for example, you can do soft détaché in your scales when you feel it, and then I would recommend you the Vademecum, the staccato exercise, which is on this book. It's very, very good. And I also like very much the Magnani 10 études caprices de grande difficulté, the number 8. It's very, very good for the staccato. So if you do it very, very long, it would be a great way to start the staccato in the morning. I will show you another bizarre exercise that I use to wake up my tongue. It consists on approaching your tongue on the reed, but very slowly, and you don't need to stop the vibration of the reed. You must hear that the intonation gets lower and then the tongue vibrates a lot. It's almost unpleasant. It's strange, but you get used to it, and this really wakes up your tongue. You will see if you try at home what I mean, because you really feel it that, wow, it's like electricity actually. So the intonation is low, but it's not like before that we were opening the embouchure, it's because of the tone. Be aware of that. It sounds like this. And so you can do slowly at the beginning and then do some rhythms. So to sum up, my important points to remind of this warming up video are warming up the body before taking the instrument and do some breathing exercises. Feel uneasy of emission and a full sound. Work on the finger technique, calm, slowly and relax. At the beginning, do soft and long staccato. Create your own exercises and personalize your warming up routine and vary it. And finally, listen to your body and take time in the aspects you need more. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't hesitate to ask me via Facebook if you have any doubts, because I know it's kind of strange explaining these exercises like this, so I can give you more details if you want, and any questions, don't hesitate. So have a nice summer, ciao!